Is the colonial attitude of police not eliminated? Police has been one of the major task force in serving the society with its governance during the time of pandemic. But we have also witnessed some of the major incidents, like the custodial death of father and a son duo named Jairaj and Benix in Tamil Nadu. So to discuss more about it and elaborately, today we have among us Dr. Priya Sepaha. She is MA in English, LLM in criminology, and PhD in law. She has also worked extensively in a field of criminology, criminal law, personal law, tort, and many contemporary issues. She is also a member of International Society of Therapeutic Jurisprudence and International Society of Criminology. Now I invite uh, Priya ma'am to enlighten us on the today's topic.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for inviting me for this webinar. Now, as it has been said that the topic is basically about to the colonial system, the colonial attitude of police not eliminated. That means why there is a need for discussing such type of topic. As the moderator said that in very recent past that we have witnesses two major cases, and that is related to basically first is related to custodial death, and the second case is related to police encounter, very recent with our case. Jairaj Banik's case was a case of Tamil Nadu. Now these are the cases not only in India but in America also. You might have observed and you might have read about the case of death of George Floyd in America also. So this is not only the problem in India, this is also a problem in America as well. So the world is facing these type of problems, and no matter in America or in India, both are having the colonial system. So in India, basically, we are having a colonial system of police, and there is a need of present society that there must be some changes in these type of system. For that, it has been observed that these are the cases. These has made an extensive media attention, and whenever there is an extensive media attention, then there is an open debate for such type of topic. Now, the basic thing is there is now a question mark on the working style of a police department. Whether the police is right or whether the police is wrong. Secondly, whether there is a need to change the colonial system, whether any of the police reform has been implemented, which has been presented earlier, whether there is any sort of task or any sort of committee has been made to change or to make a change in the society as far as the system, the police is concerned. So whether these changes are required or not. So first of all, it is necessary to understand who the police are. Basically, police is the first agency for the administration of criminal justice and is considered to be the first line of defense against the crime. And this is also true that no society can exist or function without the support of an organized police force. But due to some of the brutal incidences which has been done in the recent past, it has become almost one of the hated institution of any and every type of government. Any and every type of government means I have talked about India also, and I am talking about US also, and in other countries also. And this type of activity or this type of things, basically about the brutal incidences, is happening not only in India but everywhere. So the only difference is that in democracy, basically the people in democracy, they are vociferous and they are loud in their complaints. Whereas where there is an autocracy or dictatorship, the popular voice is suppressed. But every person is definitely they are basically suffering from these type of system, and they really want to change this type of system, and this is really alarming for everyone that there must be some change in the system. So before starting or before discussing these things in an exhaustive manner, let us take a look on the historical background. Now, as far as historical background is concerned, you might have known that earlier, if we talk about before colonial system, if we talk about Mughals, at the time of Mughals, what was the system? The system was of Kotwal. That means in that particular time, the Kotwal was considered as a uh, basically he is the only person who look after law and order situation. So when the law and order situation was in the hand of the Kotwal, he is the person who maintained all these things, and he was having a good authority and a power to maintain these things. And he is only responsible or answerable to Subedar. Then definitely he is answerable to king only. So there were three hierarchy at that particular time, which was prevalent in Mughal system. Later on, when Britishers come, not only Kotwal was still existing at that particular time, and then thereafter, what was the system? The system was related to, there was one other system which is called as Zamindar. Now, Zamindar was a person who are having both the power. Now, both the power means they are also having judicial power and they are also having the power of revenue. And somehow they also manage, just because they are so superior and they are having two special power, that is judicial and revenue. That's why they are considered as a very powerful person. So to basically at that time the cardinal principle to make a police act or to make a police system by the Britishers at that particular time was basically to make a separation policy. That separation policy is what it was a complete that it was basically inspired by the French political thinker Montaigne and his thinking and his philosophy of rule of separation of power. That means at that time, Britishers make just the main principle of making that police was to make a separation of judicial system and executive system and revenue system, definitely. Now, judicial system, you all know. Now, under executive system, now this is again really area of concern. Then whenever we talk about executive, or even in the classes also, whenever any person teach about executive system, usually people are having a misconception or not misconception, are having a conception or the thing which is related to executive is only administrative job or administrative post, the person who are in administration. They usually forget police, although police is a part of executive also. Basically, executive is both police and administration. But usually we relate executive with bureaucrats only. And bureaucrats, that too, the administrative officer. So that is the one thing. So at that time, basically, to take the powers of the zamindar and to make a separation of power, they have distributed the power of judicial power and executive power. And under executive power, they have made a police system or a police force. So under that police force, what was the thing? Under that police force, their main intention to make that police force, they do not want any type of agitation at that particular time, and they want to develop a fear in the public, basically in the public, in the society, so that there must be a fear in the public to do any sort of crime. And also they are not they cannot say anything against the government. So this were the main intention of establishing the police system, because at that particular time so much of agitation was there against the Britishers. Similarly, there were many revolt which was being taken places or that was planning at that particular time. So there were n number of violence. No matter it would have been in a small scale, but that particular thing has been started in way back in 18s only. That's why this particular system of police department has been initiated, and it has been taken by the zamindar, and the Kotwali system was also abolished. And the main thing which has been introduced was the Police Act. Police Act, and that particular police has been enacted in 1861. So in 1861, just to make a sense of fear, of authority in the entire society, and to develop this type of thinking, this type of system has been developed. That in 1861, Police Act of 1861 has been introduced at that particular time. Under that act, there was a particular system which dealt with the police. And later on, there is a police regulation was also formed in each provinces. There were provinces at that particular time, so they were framed in each provinces throughout the country, who were governing the conduct, training, discipline, dereliction of duty, and the resultant punishment related to the police personnel. So they were the person who were properly trained and who were properly trained for the discipline and to basically what to say basically to command the society in their own manner. So this has been designed at that particular time. Now in present system also, in the present governing instrument of the police force still is the Police Act of 1861. That is again which has been framed by the at the time of colonial system that has been framed. So this is the only machinery which has been framed at 1861, and we are still following that particular system. Although it is not only the Police Act, by the time there are three more things which has been added. The first one is definitely IPC, then evidence, and then CRPC also. Basically, most of the powers of police and how the police should act has been defined under CRPC. So that is also there. But if we talk about even 1973, when CRPC was framed, this is then also it is outdated. Now, if the Police Act is there, it is again outdated because it is framed in 1861, IPC in 1860, and even CRPC, which is the major thing. Police Act and CRPC is a major document or an instrument which is followed by the Indian Police Force. These are the things which has been now outdated. Although many amendment has been done and there are n number of committees has been formed for police reform and many other things pertaining to that, but still a proper implementation was not done at that particular time. So to understand the intricacy of police and to understand the abuse of power of police, to understand why the system has to be changed or why the system has to be eliminated, what are the things which are desired to change the system, it is again necessary to first of all understand the role of police. Now, why role of police? Because it is, I have observed, because as a layman, you might be all person are of legal fraternity, but there are many person who are having just a conception that the role of police is only to maintain law and order or investigation or surveillance. This is the only role of police. Whereas police are having n number of role. N number of role, that means they are having n number of things to do. And their area is wider than you can think. So they are having very wide area. So we have to understand what are the role of police. So basically, the police system has been described under the Constitution only as a subject governed by the states. That means in every state they are having their own police system, and which is designed as per the requirement of that particular state, and it is amended as per the requirement of that particular geography, state, or anything which has been desired. So in states also we are having a separate police force. In center also we are having a police force, as in union territories also we are having a police force or a police department. So basically, if we talk about the state police, there are n number of functions of police. I'm not going to explain all the function in detail because you might be knowing. It is basically a quick revision to understand the role of police and what are the function of police. First one is definitely maintaining public order. Second is patrolling and surveillance. Then there is preventive function also. Then release of accused on bond also. Then investigation, interrogation, search, seizure, maintain inquest register to assist the prosecution. Then identification, then control of juvenile delinquency, then prison administration. These are some of the basic functions of state police, as well some of the central police, or in every state, because these are the function of state police. Now, as far as central police is there, central is allowed to maintain its own police forces to assist the state with enduring laws and order. That means their function is protecting states from external and internal disturbance, then deploying central police forces, then institute for intelligence, then investigation and police training. These are the functions of central. Then apart from it, as I said, there are also functions of union territories. They are also somehow similar with the state police force. Whatever role of police of state police, that is similar to the union territories police. But other than these, even though we are having a police in center, state, and union territories, and they are effectively doing their tasks, definitely they are effectively doing their tasks, but there are some other type of police departments also, or police force also, which are called as, or a police organization, which are called as specialized task forces. So specialized task forces are, there are n number of task forces. First, establishment and administrative branch, then headquarter branch, personal branch, then rules and regulation branch, planning and welfare, law and order branch, armed forces, then vigilance, then CID, special intelligence and security branch, then technical service, traffic, police training and research wing, then logistic, legal and prosecution, coordination, then police transport, police communication and computer organization, railway police, crime record bureau. That is again very important thing, that all, because all the data which we are having and we are assisting police on the basis of that data is definitely provided by the police only, under the state crime record bureau also and the national crime bureau also. So this is basically the police diary. We are getting all the data from the police only, and then the budget and financial branch. So there are n number of branches, there are n number of forces, and definitely to maintain these type of branches and these type of organization, which is so wide in nature, it is necessary that that should be well equipped. That should be well equipped in the form of, in the terms of personnel also, weaponries also, forensic, communication, transportation, armed, everything. They have to be like that also. And for that, there is a need to have a operational freedom also. So since the operational freedom has been given to the police in such a wide nature, because the police is having their role in such a wide, as I have discussed, that there are n number of organizations, there are n number of roles of police. And if anyone is having so much of variety and so much of power, definitely that every time, it is not related to police only, it is related to every man, every human being, that powers come with authority, command, fear, and somehow ego. So these are the things which is basically, this is a package of a power. That authority is always related with the power. But if you are having a power, no matter if you are even a monitor of the class, if you are having a power, then even if you are a monitor, then also you might be having an authority and a command. And you want other people to have a fear because you are having some sort of power. But these type of things has been provided to police with an intention to make basically smooth working in the society, to definitely to maintain law and order, and definitely to not to for the surveillance of any sort of crime and punishment. But later on, what happened? Just because this particular act, the Police Act, has been designed in 1861, way back in 1861, we have to understand the intent. Basically, what was the intent of making that type of act? And as I discussed, the intent or intention of making that particular act to develop a fear in the society against any crime and the government also. That if you do anything wrong, you will be punished. And this is the person who is in a uniform. You have to, he is having that much of authority and a power that he may punish you. So that type of thing, this has been, by the time this has been taken into a very, what to say, in a very wrong, that has been diverted in a wrong path. Now, maybe because there are n number of reasons why we are talking about that there is a need for the reform. First of all, as I said, the intent of making that particular act was very different. And as I said, that the power comes with the authority. Power comes with authority, command, and ego, and fear also. So now this has been a debate since I think last 50 decades that there must be some change in the police system because of their unsympathetic attitude towards the underprivileged. Then they have started doing abuse of power. Then there are n number of cases of police brutality is there. Then there are some very prominent custodial death cases. Very recent, as I said, that Jairaj and Benix case, which happened in Tamil Nadu, that was a really very brutal case of custodial death. And then there are custodial rape also. That is, these are also cases. Then there are case of grievous hurt also. The very infamous case of Bhagalpur, popularly known as Akhodwa Kand. You might have listened. The movie Ganga Jal was based on that Akhodwa Kand. So these are the cases which is happening in the society. And very recent, the fake encounter then which has been now associated, although it is called as an encounter, only police encounter, but now it is considered as a fake encounter. Now UP is on the top of that list of doing a fake encounter. So these are the things which is happening in the society. And the reason behind these type of things, what are the reasons behind these type of things? Definitely, they are having, either they are misusing their power, or the police is not doing the thing which they are demanded to do. Because in criminal law, we always say that either there is commission of duty or either there is omission of duty. If there is a commission of an illegal act, that commission of illegal act must be in such a nature that in an aggravated form, like in brutality or a grievous hurt or fake encounter or anything. These are the commission. Whereas there might be some omission of the duty also, because if police is supposed to be present at the place of some any place where there is any cognizable offenses committed, and if he is not going at that particular place, or he is not reporting at that particular time, he might be late, or he might be not present, or he might be helping any other person to perform any illegal act. Then also these are the things which is very much prevalent these days. That's why there is a need to have a discussion on these type of things, that there is a need to change in the police system. So basically, apart from this, there are some of the public also expect from police. The multiple newer form of crime has been surfaced. It is not only these type of things. There are many other type of crimes are also there. Many other means we are having, as we say, that if there are new laws, then there are new ways of committing crime also. That's why there are new laws. So if there is a development in the scientific or in technology, then definitely there are a number of crime pertaining to that particular technology also. The very good example is cybercrime. So in cybercrime also, if police is not doing the efficient duty, the main reason is because police department is not having a separate cyber cell, basically. Although it is a part of, there is a cyber cell, but they are not having a separate what to say, governance system pertaining to a cyber cell. So these are also thing. So these are the thing why it is discussed previously also. It is not the thing that today we are discussing that there must be change in the police system, or police system need a reform, or there must be some eliminated and by the colonial system, because these are the things which is coming from the that system only. So this is not a new thing to be discussed. This has been discussed, as I said, since 55 decades. These things has been discussed, but it is only after the National Police Commission, when it was appointed in 1977, it was the first thing, and under which there was a report which was submitted, and in which there were many guidelines has been given, and in that report many things has been observed and many suggestions has been given. Later on, there are many other things. Basically, that suggestions are, if later on, then many committees are also framed. I'm coming to that committees also. But before that, basically, what people want that the police there must be some effective dealing with the crime and criminals. Basically, they should uphold the human rights, and there must be a safeguard to the legitimate interest of one and all. These are the things which has to be point out at that particular time. So, in short, what is the demand? Holding a police accountable. How to hold a police accountable of any of the things which they are using. That means the police has a power of investigating crime, enforce law, and maintain law and order in a state. So to ensure that such power is only used for legitimate purpose, there must not be any abuse of that power. And so this is the main thing why the police reform is desired. Then secondly, in India, due to the political interference, again because of the political interference, it is so much of interference in the working of the police due to the political interference. It has become now a question mark on the police as well, and as well on the politicians, whether the demand of the society, or what the society actually want, that there must be a smooth working of maintenance of law and order, whether it is possible or not. So there is, because of the interference of the political interference also. As I said, that due to this police subculture that was existing during the British regime, and it continues to operate, and in that culture, torture of the citizen and calling of bad names against them were permitted. These things were permitted, and nowadays also these things are permitted, and that's why the police is considered as one of the most disliked or hated institution. These are the things happen. So, as far as the reforms are considered, as I said, that there are n number of reforms has been made time to time, just to make a police in a better form, and to change the working of the police. Many things has been made, but there are 6 major reform committees. The first one is Gore Committee. The second is National Police Commission, then the Bureau Committee on Police Reform, then Padmanabhan Committee, then Group of Ministers on National Security, and Malamat Committee on Reforms of the Criminal Justice System. These are some of the major committees for the police reform, which has been formulated at different times at different levels, and they have give a good suggestion for the reformation of the police. That includes everything, not only the working of the police, surveillance of the police, even the salary of the constables and many things, and even how to deal with the crime, investigation, interrogation, everything has been discussed. But all these reports are culminated in, basically there was a very important case, or the leading case, which has been done, that is Prakash Singh versus Union of India, 1996. There was a petition which was filed before the Supreme Court that raised a various instances of abuse of power by the police and alleged that police personnel found their duties in a political Persian manner. So after this particular case, this is considered as a major case, and in this particular case, there are five structural design, a structural and design defect has been presented in front of the Supreme Court. That was, the first one is unwarranted political interference and political driven appointments, transfers and promotion. As I said earlier also, that there is the political interference in the police system is in such a way that police are doing basically their job, and their appointment, their transfer, their promotions, which this has been affected by the politicians also. If they are not doing the work which has been what to say assigned by the politician, or if they are not favoring politician, that there may be chance, this is not always, but there may be chance which could affect their promotion also, appointment also, and transfer also. So basically everyone is doing a job, so they do not want a promotion, their transfer or the posting at that particular moment. That is basically one of the main or a major reason why police either doing their duty in a very harsh manner or in a very brutal manner, or they are abusing their power, or why they might not be doing their duty which is desired to be done by them. So they might be, this is one of the things which has been stated in the report, that there must be less political interference, and if the police will make an independent body, then definitely the scenario will change, and which is desired. Until and unless police is not becoming an independent, then it is really very difficult to change the scenario. Now the next thing is basically the overburden of the police. Now overburden of the police is, there are lot many vacancies in the police department all over in India. That means if there are 5 policemen is desired, there are only 1 constable or 1 person are there. So if 1 person is doing a work of 5 person, definitely he is having much pressure. And the duty of police is basically, if that person is at the ground and if anything mishap or anything wrong has been committed, it might be a riot, it might be a mob lynching, it might be any sort of thing which has been committed. If these type of thing has been committed, then he is not having that much of power or that much of force at that particular time. So that is also a drawback why this type of thing is happening. So definitely police are overburdened, and this is also recommended at that particular reports and committees, that there must be, the vacancies must be fulfilled. And then the lack of genuine empowerment of personnel, that is also lacking. Then there is lack of an independent oversight body. As I have already said, that there must be an independent oversight body. Then there is inadequate collaboration between the police and the prosecutor. Definitely there is an inadequate collaboration between the police and prosecutor. Why? Because somehow it happened that in court, the thing is changed, the whole scenario is changed. The police is saying something different and prosecutor is presenting something different. So the picture is completely changed. Then under the recommendation of these things by the different committee, and after that case also, this report has been addressed these type of issues, and some of the guidelines has been issued. With respect to, first, there must be an adequate number of police personnel. That means a vacancy has to be fulfilled. Then there must be a proper training to the police personals. Then there must be a technical infrastructure, and then the financial resources. So basically, we are discussing so much of things that under these reforms, they have discussed lot many things which is desired. But the thing which was ordered was nothing related to the abuse of power. Although the case was related to solve the problem related to abuse of problem, police brutality, and the things are the grievous hurt and everything pertaining to the violence, basically police violence. But the thing which has been directed, or the guideline was pertaining to only transfer, pertaining to financial resources, their training, their technical infrastructure, and nothing else. All other things which has been stated to maintain or to overcome the problem of abuse of power, basically, that has not been discussed. That's why again now in 2020 again we are discussing that there is a need to eliminate the colonial system, because still we are having that particular colonial system of police act which has been adopted by the Irish police system. This is also basically an Irish police system which has been adopted now, first by the Britishers, and now we are adopting. And so these things has to be changes. Now, what are the reasons of this inadequacy of the reforms? As I said, that although many things has been desired, many things has been proposed or suggested in that particular reports, in various type of reports, but still these inadequacy, there is an inadequacy or intricacies in these reports. These things has not been taken into consideration. Rather, the things which has been taken into consideration was not at all what we say is directly related to the abuse of power. So why? Basically, again, the first thing, which is first and foremost and a very important, political interference, because politicians are the person who make the laws. Legislation is there. This is the first body which we are having in our constitution, who used to make the law. Why would they make a law which is not basically giving any type of benefit to them? So if their what to say authority, the authority which they are having on the police and the administration, if they will make it independent, then definitely police may do a much better things than they are doing now. So there is a political interference. Then there are financial constraints also. The financial constraint means definitely the salary what they are having is not appropriate. So they are indulged in the corruption also. And due to the corruption, they are due to the corruption or due to the having a less salary or having so much of demand, they are so much of frustrated. The level of frustration has been aggravated in such a form that they become so much brutal in nature. Although in training, though this cannot be said that this is the logic behind, or this is I'm justifying their brutalness, because in their training also it cannot be said that you don't have to be empathic. So they must know how to control their emotion, because they are the person who is directly dealing with the public, and they are dealing it at the first tense by the public. So they have to be normal. They should understand what exactly is the problem persisting in the society and how to deal with all those problems. So they have to be reasonable. But maybe these are the things which has been said, that these are the financial constraints are also one of the reason of their corruption, frustration, and brutality. This has been basically a report and the analysis of many of the cases also. Then the organizational culture and mindset of the police. Now, what is the organizational culture? Organizational culture is basically to make people having a fear of them. So there is a demand of fear, there is a demand of authority, there is a demand of command. So, and if these demand is not fulfilled, definitely it hurt their ego. And once their ego is hurt, they can do, and they have started abusing their power in such a manner that they have crossed all the limits. And these cases, like Tamil Nadu case, the Jairaj and Benix case, are really portrays a picture of the brutality in such a manner that organizational culture and mindset of police has been aggravated in such a form that they do not want to listen anything. Now, there is one more thing. If we discuss Jairaj and Bannick's case, there is one more thing. You might be knowing that there are two types of system which is prevailing in the every state or every city. There are, one is dual system and another is police commissioner system. So in most of the state there are dual system. Now dual system where the administration is superior than police. That means if police has to do anything other than the cognizable offense, they have to take the permission by the magistrate. That means by the DM. They have to take the permission by the magistrate or the judicial magistrate if they want to do anything. Anything. That means other than the cognizable offenses. But in police commissioner system, they do not have to take any permission. Now, if we analyze this Jairaj and Benix case, in Chennai also, the system, the police commissioner system is prevalent. So if the police commissioner system is prevalent, definitely they do not have to take any sort of permission by the court. They can do. And otherwise also, if there is a cognizable offense, they are having a right, which has been mentioned under CRPC, they are having a right to take a cognizance of suo motu action of any sort of this. And this particular case was related to COVID, where there is only a guidelines to shut the, today also it has been declared in MP, everywhere I think, and in MP that Sunday will be curfew. So there is today there is no shop is open, no activity is going on anywhere. So these are the direction which has been given by the DM or by the state or by anyone else just to maintain the law and order. And this was a case related to this, that that person has definitely exceeded, for which the punishment is only 6 months. That means there is a violation of section 144 of CRPC, and for that the punishment which has been mentioned under section 188 of IPC, that there must be punishment of only 6 months. And if there is a punishment of only 6 months, then there is not at all, police is not at all having any right to beat them just for that type of thing where no interrogation is needed. It was no interrogation. Even at the time of, we have heard about the third degree, we have heard about the brutality, the grievous hurt which has been given by the police. But in which cases? Any of the cases or any of the crime for which the punishment is either the more than 10 years or life imprisonment or capital punishment. For that cases, it could be the, if desired, and if the accused of so much of stubborn or he is a recidivist, then maybe here the term maybe, they may use third degree, but it is not desired in every case. But in this case, definitely this is a basically this is really a what to say, drawback of this organizational culture and mindset of police as far as the Jairaj and Benix case is concerned. Then the next reason is lack of public support. Now here I am not defending police, but I must say that there is lack of public support also to the police. It may be because they are having a fear. It may be because they do not want to be involved in the court proceeding. They do not want to take any panga with any powerful person. So maybe they are facing a lack of public support as far as anything. If there is any murder in the public place also, which happened in the Vikas Dubey case also, in Vikas Dubey he has murdered 8 policemen in Kanpur. Still, no one was ready to give the. No one is ready to become a witness of that particular crime. So these are the things which police officers are facing. And that's why, due to the lack of public support, just to they used to use that brutality over the person who has been caught for the interrogation purpose or for any type of investigation. So they are using uh, this type of thing at that particular time. Then the lastly, there is an aggression in the public also against the police. Now the aggression in the public against the police, there are variety. In some sense, it is justified that they are having aggression of the police. Now there are, in recent past, there are case of Jamia Millia Islamia, where you all know what happened. Like police went to the college itself, university itself. That was also a case. There is an aggression in the public against the police. Then these are the things happen. Then in COVID-19 also, if the police is trying to, if the curfew is there and police is trying to stop you to roam everywhere in the city, and still you're not doing this thing, again you are aggressive towards the police. And there are n number of things for which people are against the police. So there are n number of reasons why the police they are. So these are the things basically which I personally think these are the inadequacy of reforms. Then although, because in reforms the only thing which has been stated for police is not upon the working of the police, but about the transfer posting, about the training, and about the other things. So this is not desired, although that is also something which is needed. But what about the other things? What about the other things as we have discussed? So according to me, basically, if I come at the conclusion that some suggestion to be given for the reform is, first of all, it is necessary, I'm repeating it, it is necessary to understand the intent of police. Intent of police, or intent of a police act which has been formulated in the colonial system. What was the intent? And as I said, that was only to give a fear, to fear in the society against the government and against the punishment, crime also. And definitely they want to control the agitation and the revolt also at that time. But now, even in afterwards, IPC, CRPC, and evidence has been made, but still they have become outdated. Now, in the present system, it is not needed that there must be some reform. It is what is needed that there must be some paradigm shift. It is a greatest desire of the need of the desire of this present situation, or the urgency is that there must be a paradigm shift. We have to shift by the basic things, and we have to look at the present scenario and the working of the police, desire of the citizens, what citizen actually wants, because now we are talking about the reformatory approach. So there is basically a really need of doing a paradigm shift. Then a separate cadre must be made for cyber crimes. As I said earlier also, because cyber crime, cyber threat, fraud, these are the things uh, which is happening in prevailing so much in the society, that this needs to be accountable more in the nature. Then it is really necessary that there must be a panel of experts while training the police officer. Now that panel of expert must be dealing with first thing, which is first and foremost is psychology. They must understand the psychology of police so that they can train them to understand the psychology of the public. It is not only by the fear only then you can tackle the public. You may tackle the public in the different form also. This has to be trained, this type of training has to be given in a proper manner. So that's why there must be some counseling session also of the police, not at the time of the training when they were appointed, but time to time training must be given. Although there are time to time training is already given to the police, but that must include that there must be some psychological session, not only the session of anger management or time management. Time management they know very well. There are n number of session of life skills. That is also desired. N number of sessions of life skills are prevalent these days everywhere, no matter it is administration, in police, in corporate, in school, university, everywhere. But what about the psychological aspects? That is also necessary. How to deal the psychology of the criminal, how to deal the psychology of the mob, how to deal the psychology of the public, what public exactly want, and what is your psychology at that particular time, and what is the psychology of those type of police officer who are really violent in nature. They are the matter of study, so they have to be studied very well by everyone, by basically a panel, so that they can understand the reason behind that, and so that they can curb the problem in a very easy way. Then there must be for the language proficiency, the language of the police, you all know. Then there must be that type of the thing also. Then definitely one very important suggestion might be that there must be an integrate the Lokpal and the Prevention of Corruption Act into police reform to enhance the accountability. If these things will be integrated, definitely that way the police accountability will definitely increase. And then again, there must be encouragement of the police to make an independent body so that they can be free by the political interference, especially for transfer posting and for these type of things. So these are the things which is desired, and in various countries is adopting these type of safeguards, such as making the police accountable to the political executive, and creating independent oversight of authority. So these are the things, these are the some manners which I wanted to discuss with you pertaining to the colonial system which we eliminated, and the reason behind the intricacies of police, and the abuse of power, and everything. Hope you like it. And if you have any question, you can ask me.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing such valuable knowledge with us. And we also thank you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation at a very short notice. So now we'll be opening the question answer round. Anyone who has to ask question to ma'am, kindly unmute yourself, or you can type in the chat box.
I can read the chat box that it has been asked that there are a number of cases related to the misuse of power. Then how can we can ensure that police won't misuse power? I never said that police are not misusing their power. Police are definitely, the whole webinar is on the abuse of power only, that they are misusing the power. But there are n number of reasons behind it. As I have said, that there are n number of reasons. We have to focus on the reason, and then it is basically, I always say, whoever knows me, I always say that there must not be only a discussion only for the sake of discussion only. The discussion must be for the sake of solution. So it is not only pointing out the mistake, it is also what are the solution of these type of problems. So definitely there are misuse of power, and for that it is necessary to make a the desired reforms in the police and a paradigm shift, as I said. Then the next chat, which I can see, that we see many cases are hidden by the Garima Sharma, that many cases are hidden if political involvement is there. For example, like in Ping, the victim is removed in Katwa case. Yes. Yes, as I said that yes, there are political interference, and which is really very bad. And that was the thing. That was one of the major reason why police cannot do things independently. I'm not saying that if police will be independent, that everything, every scenario will be changed. But definitely that will be a better step, because somehow police are also afraid of their posting and promotion and everything. So they are might be, if they cannot do their work in the way they really want to do their work. So it might be a reason. Things. Then as Rupali and Sumani is saying that the political leaders are minimized since they have no academic qualification for their recruitment. Uh, Definitely, I think I have given the answer of your question, Rupali. And then Mukesh Gaur said that, ma'am, how it is possible to make reform in Police Act when the politicians are using the system for their own sake in the manner? Yes, now this is a question. I think there is we can ask for the media only, and the people like you who desire to make a changes in the police. So the public is, I think, basically we say that the society is police is a reflection of the society. So we have to make society like this. We have so that could be done. How is possible? Yeah, it is being said that police should be given power to police responsibility. No, I don't think the last question that whether if, as I said, that if police will make independent, do you actually think that if police is not independent and so much of political interference is there, whether the police is working in the desired way? No, they are not working in the desired way. I'm not saying that that is the only solution. I am saying that that could be one of the solution because this is one of the reason of these type of things. Anyone else? I think I
Any
have
more questions?
answered.
Ma'am, I don't think there are any more questions. So, thank you, ma'am, for being with us today and enlightening us. Uh, it is requested from every member that we are uploading a link. It is a feedback and a certificate link. It will only be open for 5 to 10 minutes. So kindly fill it so that we can do more of this webinar and enlighten us all with some legal knowledge. And again, I thank you, Priya ma'am, for and being with us and enlightening us and with the laws and about various things. It was very enlightening and knowledgeable. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.